So welcome to JG's Fight Talk. And with me now, I've got Gully Powar. How you doing, Gully?
How you doing, man? Everything's good. Good over here, man. Just staying focused, staying ready for the next fight. You know what I'm saying? Just want to say thank you for having me on this. You know what I'm saying? It's really good to be out there speaking about my journey in the sport of boxing. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, honestly, mate, it's a pleasure. And as I say, I know how hard you've been working, seeing little clips here and there. And once you make it onto YouTube, mate, that's it. You've made it.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. Stepping stone towards greatness, I guess. You know what I mean? This is the way all the greats had to do it, putting themselves out there. You know what I mean? And I'm a future great in the sport of boxing, and I really do believe in myself. So once again, thank you for having me, so I can express my my opinion on what I want to do, and just keep pushing forward towards where I want to be. So yeah, this is a message to everyone, really.
Yeah, no problem at all, mate. As I say, five fights, 5 wins, 1 knockout at the moment. It's all going well. But before all that, when did it begin for you? When did you first put on a pair of gloves?
So I was 9 years old. My dad put me in a boxing club. Obviously, I come from an area where it's a bit like it was a bit negative. You know what I'm saying, with the young people. That was a lot of knife crime, a lot of gang crime and stuff. So my dad put me in boxing from a young age so I could stay off the streets. You know what I mean? Obviously, a lot of people I grew up with, they went towards the wrong path, but I stayed on the path of boxing. You know what I mean? And I put a lot of my energy into it, and I just stayed dedicated. And yeah, I've been fighting all my life. I did kickboxing before I was a boxer, but it wasn't like nothing too serious. I was always good at different sports, but I found my true passion in boxing, and that was what I went into. So as soon as I stepped in the boxing ring, and it was just literally my first love. You know what I mean? I just enjoyed it a lot. Once again, I went into sparring the first time. I remember getting stopped with a body shot. You know what I mean? The first time I ever stepped in the ring with like a kid that was about 3-4 years older than me, and obviously like any other kid, I would be like, so I didn't like. Obviously, it was one of them things I was a bit half-hearted, and then as soon as I started to get more and more into sparring, I started to find love in it even more and more. And after that, I just never looked back, and I've always enjoyed it. You know what I mean? And now I'm sparring the top guys. I'm fighting all the time. I'm a regular fighter. You know what I'm saying? I love studying boxing, and it's been a great journey so far. But yeah, man, great question.
So who was the boxer you looked to then as a child? You say you loved watching it. Who was kind of that go-to guy that you thought, wow, now that's why I love boxing?
So I've always looked at every different champion. So like obviously my favorite old school fighter was Roberto Duran. You know what I mean? Hands of stone. I've got a very similar style to him. I look up to him with the same height. You know what I mean? I did the same things as him, sparring bigger guys than me. You know what I mean? And always had that similar type of mindset. But he was a true champion in my eyes. He fought everybody. He never ducked no one. Even on his worst days, he still stepped in the ring with all the greats. You know what I mean? And his mindset was just amazing to be the best lightweight ever. This era, I would say it was Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? Canelo Alvarez, true Mexican fighter. You know what I mean? I love this body work. I love this mindset. Once again, fights all the true champions, fights all the time. You know what I mean? He's always making big fight deals, fighting the great best fighters. When he fought Golovkin, and you gotta give them fighters credit, man. So I look at them, but I've always looked at every true champion out there, like, and I take little attributes and I put it into my own style. So like, I've always want some days I want to be like one champion, another day I want to be like another champion, and ever since I was a kid, I've always looked up to different champions. So that's the way I've always been. But yeah, I would say personally, Roberto Duran, all-time favorite is Roberto Duran, most definitely.
Yeah, and the thing is, as you go along, you're going to pick up different tools as you go. You're gonna sharpen yourself up to the style that you're going to be. Do you know what I mean? But you look at those fights and you think, oh yeah, I like that about their game. I like what they do there. How can I implement that into what I'm already doing? And then you become power. Do you know what I mean? You become your own fighter, and every fighter does it, don't they? They look to their heroes, they look to those guys, and then they turn around and they go, right, actually, this is how I'm going to apply it to my trade. This is how I'm going to move forward with what I've learned. And it's important, like you say, you've got a great team around you. Your family are really supportive, and that's a big part of it, isn't it?
That's a big part of it. So like, yeah, once again, shout out to my trainer Richie Carter. He was a former professional fighter himself. He knows the game inside out. He's been guiding me throughout my path from the amateur days straight to the pros. You know what I mean? He just recently got his manager's license, so he's making big waves. You know what I mean? I got my family, my dad around me. My dad's heavily involved in my sport of boxing. All my family, my mum, my sister, my brother-in-law. Everyone is a big part of my boxing crew, and you know, it means a lot to me to have the right people around me. You know what I mean? Because as they say, boxing's a lonely sport, but it doesn't always have to be lonely. You know what I mean? If you have the right people around you, you're always going to be, you know, your mind's always going to be screwed on. So sometimes my dad or my coach will take the pressure off me, you know what I'm saying, for a few things like tickets and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, man, it's just great to have my family around me, and you know, good team around me. And we have a great stable at Wolverhampton Amateur Boxing Club. Well, it was an amateur boxing club, now it's a professional boxing club. So we've got a great team around us as well. You know, we're all coming up the same way, all staying dedicated, and that's the main thing. You know what I mean? I've always just had a lot of fire in me, and I just stay in the gym and I use that fire, and you know, I'm just focused on the next fight, like I said. So I'm ready for everything that comes my way.
Yeah, yeah. And as you say, since your debut, what was it, the 30th of October last year, you've kind of just been on a roll. Like I was just checking it out. December, March, April, July. You've kept yourself occupied, you kept yourself in the ring, kept yourself going. And obviously September's the next date you're looking at in
Yeah.
Wolverhampton. So it's all good.
So everything, like you're saying, everything's gone bang on for me. You know what I mean? I've always like the old school mentality. When they used to fight a lot. You know what I mean? They always used to be staying active all the time, and there's always, you know, just focus on the next fight. And that's the same with me. I like the mentality they had, and you know, that's why I always say that I've got the old school mentality. Like I'm just ready to fight all the time. I'm ready to spar. I'm ready to train. You know what I mean? I have the right rest days, and I just literally just stay in the gym. I study the sport of boxing 24/7, and this is
Yeah.
just life. This is everything I do. You know what I mean? You know, like obviously they say the eyes never lie, and I just literally just stay focused all the time. But yeah, more September the 15th, my second 6 rounder. You know what I mean? I want to get at least 3 to 4 6 rounders in, and I'm chasing big things after that. And like I said, whatever comes my way, I'm ready for it. And you know, my team will be ready for it as well. So, you know, I'm always prepared. I'm always ready. I'm ready for any opportunity at any time. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I've never missed weight. I've always stayed focused. And a big thing about my career so far is I've never actually fought at super bantamweight, which is like something that I don't know why, because we've always tried to get opponents around that weight and they've always pulled out of me. You know what I mean? I think it might be because of the way I fight relentlessly. You know what I mean? People don't want to be stopped. Like fighters don't want to be stopped. And obviously because I'm so game and I just keep pushing forward and I don't give up, they don't want that type of style against them. Whereas me, I'm like, I'm always on you. And like I said, I'm actually 21 tomorrow, so I'm starting.
Hey, happy birthday, mate.
But once again, like I haven't even gained my man strength yet. So people ain't seen the true power of what I've been doing. I've sparred all the best fighters. I've sparred Liam Davis. I've sparred James B. Jr., Brad Foster, Kane Baker. I've sparred everyone. Conor Walker. You know what I mean? I spar bigger guys, and like it's been a valuable experience to me, and that's just made me a better fighter. You know what I mean? So, like I said, any opportunity that comes my way, it's problems. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, and definitely. Well, and as you say, hopefully you can have a piece of cake after September. You have to wait, though, mate. You have to wait.
Yeah, I have to wait, man. I have to wait, man. I'm always, like I said, man. Like in the sport of boxing, it's pure sacrifice, and I
Yeah.
understand at a young age. I've dedicated it. So obviously, before I was 17, obviously it was just all young people. You know what I mean? I was focusing on boxing, but there was all the external distractions around me. As soon as I turned 18, I just started focusing in, started reading books and stuff, started educating myself more about where I need to be in the future, and like I cut off a lot of people. You know what I mean? And that's what a champion has to do. You know what I mean? If they want to stay focused, they need to cut off all the external distractions, and that's what I've done. And literally now, I've even given up my job and everything. Like I was working with young people in different schools, taking them off the streets and stuff. Like you know what I'm saying, with an organisation called Empower Academy, and that really helped me explain my path to some young people, like change people's lives. But obviously, when it came to the time to become a professional, I had to change my path and go straight to full-time boxing 24/7, staying dedicated, and that's where I am right now. You know what I mean? So I'm just, like I said, I'm ready.
Mate, you can see it. Your face lights up the moment you talk about what you're doing, where you're heading, what's next. You are just, like you said, you eat, sleep, probably dream boxing. Do you know what I mean? You are that guy who's put himself in the best position to move forward. And I take my hat off to you, mate. You know, it is sacrifice. It is difficult, people that turn around and say, "Oh, boxing," they turn up, they do what they do, and then they get a big payday. A lot of these guys don't see a big payday for a long, long time, if they ever see one. Do you know what I mean? These are grafters. These are hardworking guys and ladies that put the time in the gym, and they push to be the best that they can be. And you're certainly one of them, mate. And the future's bright for people like you that are just dedicated and wanting to do the best they can for themselves, but also for their family as well.
Yeah,
So
100%. Like I said, it made a big part of the reason why I do this is because I think I've been through a lot in my life, and there's a lot of fire built up inside of me from when I was a young age. And obviously, certain times I did go down through the wrong path, and I made a lot of mistakes. But I needed that to happen to make myself understand at a young age I need to mature, and I need to focus in. You know what I mean? And a lot of boxing, like 90% of my mentor is coming from doing it for my family. You know what I mean? So I don't have a loser's mentality. Every fight I've stepped into, I've always been confident in my ability. Even coming out of fights, you know what I mean? Like I was a senior elite semi-finalist, and 2021 November, I think, in December, was around that time. And that was even my natural weight. I was never actually naturally 60 kg. It's just that, like I said, there was a bit of distractions in my life, and I
yeah,
went the wrong weight. But 57 was always my weight. I should have been coming out even a bit lighter than that. I could have made it, but it's just that I was nearly stopping the guys at them divisions. Like I was nearly like taking them out with body shots, hard shots, and stuff. And I was fighting fully grown men, and I was only about 18 years old at the time. And I got to the semi-finals. I nearly stopped the kid in the third round and announced him as the winner. But hats off to him, you know what I mean? I respect every fight I step into, into the ring with. I've never had nothing bad to say about anyone. I do my talk in the ring. I don't need to, disrespect anybody at all. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I step in the ring, I do my talking then, and then it's all handshakes after that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like he got the win for it, and I could have been the GB squad, or like I could have been in the GB camps at least, and there was big things destined for me, and like maybe the amateur path wasn't my path because I was never that styled fighter. I had up to 41. They say I had 33, but I had more than that. It's just one of my pages got ripped out of the book. But when I was a kid, because I had a lot of like fights when I was a kid, but I had up to 41 amateurs, and I've always just been like, I've always just loved boxing. Like it's just been everything to me. You know what I mean? I've always just been focused, and I've always had that desire, that deep desire to keep pushing. And I know it's going to take maybe 5, sometimes it might take 5 years of sacrifice just to work hard to get to where I want to be, but I'm willing to make them sacrifices to get where I want to be. You know what I mean? So, I'm just going to stay focused, remain focused, keep the right people around me. I'm going to keep pushing towards greatness, and that's my mentality for now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah. And like you said, the GB path, it wasn't meant to be. It
yeah,
wasn't meant to be. And now you're on a path where, look at you already, 5 fights, 5 wins in a professional game. This is where you're meant to be. This is
yeah,
what you're meant to be doing. And as you say, your style is more suited for the pro game than the amateur game. You're that come forward fighter. There's a lot of the, not to say it's just that, but the Olympic style is the points punching. You've obviously got that more tenacious, aggressive approach in the ring as well, and that adds well to the pro game. So,
yeah,
mate, I've got no doubt that you're going to go and be a success in this because your mind's in the right place, you're physically in the right place, and as you say, to surround yourself with the right people,
yeah.
that that's success in itself, isn't it? And now you just got to go and prove your mettle. And
Yeah,
I've got no doubt, mate, no doubt at all.
appreciate that. And it's just like on this with boxing, I think it's one of them sports. It's not a team sport. It's not like football. It's not like cricket or any other sports like that where you got teammates with you. You can't carry you got to carry yourself. You can't carry another teammate, can you? Like in boxing, you can't. You make one slip up, and that's it. It's lights out. And so you can't afford to make a mistake in boxing. You can't afford to miss a session. You can't afford to miss a run because as soon as you miss them runs, that's a round taken off you. So if you miss 2 runs, that's 2 rounds taken off you. That's my mentality. So I run like 8. I run 4 to 5 8 milers every single day. Not every single day, sorry, throughout the week. So that'd be a bit crazy if I did that.
I was going to say, well, mate,
Yeah,
you need to sleep.
but, 4 to 5 8 milers a week. I do that all the time. And if I need to do like a recovery one, I do like 6 to 7 miles. I do them at fast paces, like 6 minutes 30 seconds a mile. You know what I mean? I can prove it to people as well if they don't believe me. But I run fast, man. Like I've got the mentality. Like as soon as I'm running down that path or like on the pavement, it's like tunnel vision. So I'm running towards my goals. You know what I mean? And that's the way I think.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I visualize myself in a better place every time I finish a run. And that's how a true champion thinks. You know what I mean? You've always got to think that you're the champion in your mind before you are the champion with the belt. You know what I mean? So, you know, I've got a lot to show yet. I'm not at my best. You know what I mean? I'm putting on great performances. You know what I mean? I'm not even fought at my weight category yet, and I'm hurting people at bigger weights. You know what I'm saying? So when I do get to 122 pounds and I make that weight, you know, and I have big title fights in the future, the world will see how great I am, and you know, I'm destined for it. And you know, like I said, I just keep it going, keep it moving, going forward, and you know, it's all down to God to just keep my path right. You know what I mean? So yeah, strong faith.
That's it, mate. That's it. And as I say, I've got no doubt at all. Before you go, I'm going to chuck one at you. We do a prediction with a lot of our guests. Obviously, big rematch coming up. Liam Smith, Chris Eubank Jr. Very tasty rematch. A lot of people saying, do we really need it? But put it this way, we're all going to watch it. How are you going to see this one? Is it going to be revenge or repeat?
I think I'm going to go with both sides now. I'm not saying it's a revenge or repeat, because if Chris Eubank makes the right adjustments, he can beat Liam Smith. Liam Smith can be beat, but he's one of them fighters. Like, he's got a lot of fire in him. You know what I mean? He wants to fight. He wants to be the best, and he's got the mentality of a champion where if he gets hit, he wants to hit you back 3-4 times. But to beat someone like Liam Smith, you have to do what Canelo did. You have to outbox him. You have to work his body. You have to break him down slowly, mentally and physically. Otherwise, Liam Smith will be on your case all the time. For Liam Smith, he's just going to do what he normally does. He's going to walk forward. He's going to scare you. You know what I mean? He's going to come with punches and punches. He's going to take your best shot and land it on you. And I think I'm edging towards Liam Smith. I am edging towards Liam Smith, so I would say. But I'm not sleeping on Chris Eubank, because I feel like he can make the adjustments. Like, it's a puncher's chance, you know what I mean? So I can't sleep on nobody in boxing. Even with the big fight happening on Saturday night, Crawford. I'm bringing this into it now as well. Crawford and Spence. I can't, like, you know, out of them two, I am going for Errol Spence, because he's got more of a similar style to mine. That's only because he got a similar style to mine, but, you know, he likes to work the body. But once again, I'm not sleeping on Crawford, because it's a 50-50 fight. As soon as he makes that one adjustment and he turns southpaw, he's going to check left hook him. You know what I'm saying, or right hook him or whatever. It could be lights out for Spence, but Spence lands and body shots. It might be lights out for, you know, Crawford. So it's just a great fight. And you know, I could talk about boxing all day. It's like a, you know, I just study all the old school styles, like Wilfredo Gomez. You know what I mean? When he fought Salvador Sanchez. Wilfredo Gomez is one of my favorite old school fighters. Obviously after Duran, I would say, but he was the 122-pound king. You know what I mean? And he was just legendary as well. Like, the way he was knocking out people, 32 consecutive knockouts until he fought Salvador Sanchez. That's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, that's what people want to dream to do. That's what Golovkin did. I think he did something like that, knocking people out straight. You know what I mean? So I think a major part, just to add on, a major part of boxing is you got to be a student of the game as well. You got to understand inside out. You got to understand what the promoters are thinking. You got to understand, like, you know, what's going on behind the scenes. Because one thing I've realized is some fighters don't want to educate themselves, and I'm willing to educate myself. It's like you know, I'll take notes from every single fighter. So like, I look at every true champion out there. So, but yeah. Also, I just want to add on one last thing. I do want to have title fights in the future at Super Bantamweight. I was looking at the English title. My promoter was on the phone to one of their promoters thinking about making that fight happen. But obviously, if it doesn't happen, I'm going to keep moving forward, and whatever opportunities come my way, I'm going to take them, and I'm going to show people how relentless I can be.
Mate, power by name, power by nature, innit? This is going to be the one. And as I say, I can't wait, mate. I can't wait to see how your career goes. I can't wait to see you in the ring more, because, like you see, it just oozes from you. It absolutely does. And, mate, I wish you all the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me.
No, honestly, mate, it's a pleasure. I could talk to you for hours, but I know you've got stuff to do as well.
I'm doing my last jog. I'm doing an 8 miler after this, to be fair, you know, so I'm straight.
Oh, you're rubbing it in now.
Yeah, I'm going straight back. So yeah. But yeah, man, thanks for having me once again. I really appreciate these these talks, these interviews and that is putting my name out there, and I really appreciate it, and I'm always humble enough to say that. So thank you.
And as I say, to anyone who does watch this, make sure you find him on all of his social pages, get behind him, show him some support. He's great for getting back to people as well. And he, as I say, he's a student of the game, and he wants to take the game to the next level now. And there's no doubt at all, mate. No doubt that we're going to see your name. We're going to see your name up there.
I will be the 122-pound king. I will be the 100 super bantamweight king at some point in my career, and it's coming soon. I just want everyone to keep watching me. All the promoters, if you're watching this, keep watching, because when it happens, everyone's gonna be in for a shock. You know what I mean? My coach always calls me the dark horse, because I've always brought people's mentality, inspiring, physically, mentally, whatever. I've always shown up in the ring, and that's the way I fight. So, yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for watching JG's Fight Talk. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Check out the rest of the content, but get on all of his socials and get behind him, and stay in touch, won't you? And we'll see you soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care. Have some of this.